Hey, what's up, y'all? And welcome to another episode of the Water Bearer podcast. So happy to have y'all with me. We are getting down to the wire here. We're on the last couple of episodes of the season. So, if this is your first time watching for season 6, we're talking about the ick of every zodiac sign. So, we're going through all 12 this season. And of course, tonight we're talking about Scorpio. So, for those who may be unaware, a famous Scorpio is Leonardo DiCaprio. I'm not sure if y'all knew that, but he is a Scorpio. And with just a few preliminary things before we get started, and I bring Eric out again, welcome to the podcast. And while you're here, go ahead and join the Drip family. In other words, that sharing is caring, but hey, subscribing is thriving. And that's what we want here. So if you don't mind, go ahead and hit that subscribe button on the YouTube channel and hit that notification bell so that you can be notified whenever a new episode drops or there's new content, shorts, anything like that. Also, you can catch the episodes every Thursday at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. So a lot of times you'll hear me say catch the drip. Basically just means every episode every Thursday. You can follow me on social media on Instagram at Poetic, and that's spelled Peauxetic, and TikTok at Poetic with the number 7 at the end. And that's Peauxetic with the number 7. And you can follow Eric on Instagram at EricRMZ75. And I'm going to spell that out for you. So it's EricRMZ as in zebra, and then the number 75. And on Facebook as Eric Ramirez. Last name spelled Ramirez. So I first met Eric, and I don't think I've gotten a chance to share this with him or anybody publicly. But my mom teaches medical billing and coding, and so he was one of her students. And so I don't think I've gotten a chance to share this with Eric yet, but I actually took the class myself. I haven't taken the certification yet. I still got to study and pass the test, but I did decide, hey, I'm gonna try something new this year, and I took the class. So major props to him and anybody that has gone through it because it's a lot. It's a lot to learn. And I'll never forget my mom. There are certain people in the class that really, I'd say, kind of captured my mom's heart. And so with Eric, and she loves all of her students, but with Eric, I remember her saying, "You got a new brother," and I was like, "Okay, cool." I was like, "Let me meet him." So, so when I met Eric, I mean, we just immediately hit it off. And so I'm really glad I asked him if he would mind being on the show. And so thankfully he said yes. I never take that for granted. And so we're going to go ahead and get this thing started. And I'm going to bring Eric out to join me. Hey, what's up, Eric?
Hey, my brother. How are you?
Hey, I'm good, bro. How about you?
Good, good. Blessed for this
Yes.
opportunity.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
I really
Blessed
appreciate
too.
your time. I value your time, and to everybody that's listening, thank you for the time because time is valuable.
Yes, it is. It is. Most definitely. Most definitely. But yeah, is there well, I guess for starters, if you don't mind letting us know when your birthday is.
No, my birthday just passed. It's November 11th, uh,
Yes. Okay.
1975. You can
Okay.
tell with all the gray hairs.
Oh, hey, no, I got them too. You just can't see them as much because my beard is shorter than yours, but I got
Yeah.
you.
So November 11th, 11/11. So it's powerful
Okay.
birthday.
That's okay. Yeah, you that is a powerful birthday. I'm not sure if you're into numerology or if you studied it or anything, but I last year actually as I was starting this podcast, um and I always liked the number 11. The first book I put out actually was, I know it was before I knew you, but on your birthday, it was on 11/11. It was 11/11/11 that year when it was like all 11s.
Nice.
And that was, I put my first book out then. And then this numerologist that I met, she told me, she helped me calculate, I think it's your life path number. And turns out it's 11. So I thought that was really interesting. And some of the things she was telling me about it, I was like, wow, okay, so this is pretty cool.
There's a yeah, especially with like numerology and
Hmm.
advanced modalities.
Hmm.
Learn a lot that I've learned a lot myself with like esoteric teachings. Just
Yes.
geometry. Just a lot of things that I mean you can go down several rabbit holes.
Yeah. 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 You can really get lost in it. There's so many different things. Yeah. That's true. Yeah. Yeah. That's true. So is there anything else like you want to tell the viewers and the listeners about yourself kind of before we dig into this Scorpio conversation here?
I'm just grateful to be here. The oldest of two.
Okay.
Originally South Texas. I'm single. Um, I love mom, which is your mom.
I
Told her
love
she's
it.
like
She loves you.
I never had. So shout out to mom, Miss Deborah.
Yes.
So I'm just grateful to be here, excited. So thank you again.
Nice. Of course. Of course. You're welcome. You're welcome. Okay. So when I was doing this season, and I'll, full transparency for everybody that's watching and telling you too. This is my sixth season doing this podcast. And in the beginning, it was really easy because with the zodiac, I feel like there's so many things that you can talk about. And so as each season progresses, I feel like, okay, well, what am I going to talk about now? Or what, you know, um, some of the things I may have touched on in previous seasons. So for season six, I thought of doing the ick of each sign, like the thing that really just gets on people's nerves. So like for Aquarius, people always say that Aquarius is detached and we don't have emotions, and that's like the biggest thing that I hear. And so for Scorpio specifically, I'm gonna give you two that I've heard, and I want to get your take on it and see if you
A lot
agree.
for Scorpios.
uh,
There's a lot for
you
Scorpios.
said a lot. Oh, okay. Well, yeah, I definitely want to get into that. What you think? So the top two that I hear the most for Scorpio is they're very mysterious to the point where to a lot of people I think that they feel like they can never get past the outer layers of a Scorpio because they're so guarded, and things that maybe would seem like it's easy for other people to share, some people would say that a Scorpio would hold that close. And then the other thing is the vengeance. I've heard that you don't ever want to get on a Scorpio's bad side because that could be hell to pay. That's what I've never experienced that myself, but that's what I've always heard people say about Scorpios.
And you know, intensity can come off
Mm,
negative
hmm.
or positive, depending on who's looking or observing the intensity.
Right,
Uh, Many people consider the intensity to be something negative, because they're not used
right.
to it.
Hmm.
It's just foreign to them. But intensity is actually a good trait, a
Hmm.
strength of Scorpio. Um, they say, oh, you guys are vengeful, you guys are vindictive, you guys, like you said, you don't want to get on a Scorpio's, and it's not,
Bad side.
um, there's different levels, of course, to everything,
Hmm.
uh, and it depends. So, for example, in a spiritual astrology, there's three levels of evolution for every sign. I
Hmm. Okay.
didn't, but there's three levels of evolution for every sign. For the Scorpio, for example, the first is egocentric. Second
Mm.
is
Hmm.
soul centric. And then last is spirit centric. So initially, when you're egocentric, ego can come off as many things.
Mm. Hmm. That's true.
And ego sometimes is not the most pleasant, experience
Right.
from oneself and from the receiving person. What I mean by
Mhm.
that is, for example, when a Scorpio is so intense, well, depends on what level of evolution that they're at. If you're in the ego, well, then that could be pretty brutal. That could be very come
Right.
off as, oh, well, this guy, is this, and but as we evolve, and I tell you this now because you know I'm working on my next levels,
Huh.
and it's a ongoing thing. I'm a student of life, and so it's not that we're vengeful or we're vindictive. For Scorpios, loyalty is very, very important. We value loyalty.
Mhm.
So if and when that may be not respected or taken advantage of or whatever the case, it'll go the opposite way, and
Mhm.
Scorpios contend. I tell you that from experience. I went 0 to 100, super quick,
Wow.
back when I was younger. And so there's strengths that can be perceived as negative or weaknesses for that matter.
Right. Right. It was crazy, and I know I understand that everybody has a side where, like you say, they can go 0 to 100. Now, people have even said this about me, but I can't. It's so hard for me to picture you being on that 100 side because you seem so like chill, like even tempered, everything. Um, do you find it easy to be like that? Like maybe the perception that people see, or is it something? I know you said working on yourself, and I love that. Like moving up to those higher levels, like the spiritual levels too. Do you feel like it's harder to fight that nature to go 0 to 100?
It's a lot harder, and I tell you that.
Mm.
I'll tell you my version of my experience uh, so far in this incarnation. I grew up, everybody's got a past. Everybody
Oh yeah.
has,
Hmm.
everybody.
Yeah.
It's a lot easier to give in to these emotions, to, these characteristics, whether they're positive. It's a lot easier. It's a lot harder to step into growth, step into evolution, step into maturity, step into, just
Mm.
evolving as a human being. It's harder. Many people choose to do otherwise because it's easier. I
Right.
used to
Hmm.
drink a lot. I used to be an alcoholic growing up. I started drinking at a young age, and I'm
Hmm.
a very angry person. I was mad at the world. So it's easier to give in to alcohol, to give in to
Hmm.
drugs. You could even
Yeah.
do sex. You can do that with food. You could do that with work, and it's escaping the reality, escaping
Hmm.
the pain because it's a lot easier to escape. Um,
Right.
I tell people, you really, because people, say, oh, I've been in prison or I've been, rehab and these are all, hard things where you really want to step into that pain. That's real work. That's hard.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
most people don't do the work,
They
don't
do. Hmm.
evolve, don't grow up, don't have the drive to become a better human being, to become a better husband, a better father,
Hmm.
a better, you know, human being for everybody and anybody, So it's very hard.
Right.
Working on myself has been the most rewarding, but it's been the hardest because they don't teach you, especially as Latinos and Hispanics, they don't teach
Hmm.
you to, hey, you got to love yourself first.
Hmm.
Invest in yourself first. Hey, take care of yourself first. They don't teach us that growing up. So we grow up in fear
Right.
because that, there's a lot of consequences, a lot of things that happen due to that. So it's conditioning, and now at my age, unlearning and relearning. if that makes
Yes.
sense.
Hmm.
So I hope I answered your question, but it's
Oh
very,
yeah, you did totally.
and it's not easy. And most people don't do it or don't put in the work because it is hard,
Hmm.
because you will struggle, because you will lose friends, because you will lose, family, so-called friends, so-called family that, aren't going
Right.
to,
Exactly.
you know,
Hmm.
the more you work on yourself, the more you evolve, the more you grow as a being, as a soul, you become, it's a lonely road, you know,
Hmm.
because most people don't want to do that. Don't,
Mm-mm, they don't.
like attracts like. So if we're going out partying and, popping bottles and doing our thing, well, you're gonna have a lot of people that gravitate toward that,
Yeah.
but very few people that would gravitate and say, hey, listen, I'll go with you to these therapies. I will go with you to,
Mm.
to see this person that
Hmm.
you're gonna cry your eyes out. You know what I'm saying? This therapy is super hard, but it's going to be effective. It'll help you one way or another. It's going to help your loved ones. It's going to help you be
Hmm.
a better parent, be a better example, a better husband, a better father, a better, brother, whatever the case may be. So,
Right. I love that. And I think you're exactly right because it is easier to find people who will indulge in the dark side, if you will. So, like, it could be drinking, food, whatever it is. And I think, too, we as people, and thank you for even sharing that, your transparency. I was in my college years, I could see myself if I didn't get a handle on it, like going towards like alcoholism too, because what ended up happening, and kind of to your point, what you just said, was you drink and then you loosen up, and then people think, oh, he's funny or what, because they think I'm less uptight if I've been drinking. So then it turns into, oh, let's get him drunk because it's fun to see him drunk. And then it's like, wait, I've been drunk like the past 3, 4 weekends. And so then it's easier to get into that cycle. But like you said, a lot of people won't sit down with you and say, okay, I'm going through the work with you. We're doing this together.
and what I've learned is that everyone and everything is our teacher.
Hmm.
Everything, it could be a coworker, it could be the neighbor, it could be the person you've never met at the corner, stop sign.
Right.
Everyone's teacher is something that person did trigger me. Well, then that's something that I need to work on myself, and
Hmm.
everything is our teacher. For example, I had a valid lesson in 2017. I got a DWI, you know,
Hmm.
so that was a very powerful life lesson for myself. You know,
Ah,
it changed
good.
me completely. But it took something like that to make a dent and be like, okay,
Hmm.
Eric, you need to chill out. You're getting out of hand. You know,
Right.
there's zero willpower. There's, no control. And, where are you going to end up at? I'm grateful for this experience, and I'm more grateful and blessed that I didn't hurt myself or hurt another person,
Hmm.
because not everybody is as blessed,
Right.
and things go extremely to the opposite end. So everything's a life lesson. And if you have that mindset and you see life through those lenses, well, that changes everything, you know,
Right.
like
It does.
this right here is not by coincidence. There's nothing by chance
Hmm.
at all. So
Nope.
we are having this interaction, this meeting, this video, this chat for a specific reason where, I share my life, my story with someone out there that can say, you know what, man, that dude hit a nerve. Like
Hmm.
if I can help somebody, in one way or another, at the end of the day, that's the biggest purpose for us, whether we want to accept that or not. The secret to giving or to living is giving. You know,
Yeah, it is.
we're not going to take any wealth. We're not going to take the cars. We're not going to take the houses. You know, we're not going to take the clothes. You know, but what we will take is, hey, did I make a difference? Did I help somebody? You know, am I getting, good karma in my karma bank? You know,
Oh yeah. Uh-huh.
for
Yeah. Yeah.
so that's deep. That's on a whole different level that some people aren't ready for that conversation. Uh,
Hmm.
but at the end of the day, you have, like I tell everybody, they're like, "Hey, what do you do?" I'm like, "I'm a student of life. Like you're my,
Mm-hmm.
everyone's my teacher. You
Yeah.
know, everything is my teacher." Um, so I'm a student of life. I try to be a sponge because guess what? There's a lot I don't know. You know,
Right. Hmm.
and so that's the point of view that I that I've grown to become. But when I was younger, I was that Scorpio that went 0 to 100.
Really? Okay.
That I got locked up several times. I was just looking for somebody
Mm.
to look at me crazy. Because I was an angry person. I was just
Right.
I hated the world. So there's a different set of lenses. You know,
Yeah.
when it's just nothing good's gonna come of that, and nothing did. But I learned a lot. I look back and I'm like, man, those some crazy times.
Right. Hmm.
Like I had a real bad, uh, I would say, life crisis at the age of 40, bro. When I turned 40, I didn't know what to do with myself because I wasn't expecting. I never expected myself to make it past 40 with my lifestyle.
Really?
Yeah, so it was that dark and that bad where I was like, oh, for sure. For sure. I already know without a doubt I'm not gonna make it past 40, you know? So
Really?
yeah, oh yeah. And I was, there was a time where, it was a dark where I did wanna take myself out, and those were dark chapters that I learned a lot. Man, I didn't know how to act, Carlos, when I turned 40. Like I didn't know
Wow.
how, because I was like, well, I didn't think I was gonna get here. What do I do now?
Yeah.
Like,
Uh-huh.
okay, so what's next? Like, I don't have the slightest clue, and I freaked out like bad because I wasn't expecting. Now I'm gonna grow old. Now it's a
Yeah.
different, and
Hmm.
okay, how can I make a dent? How can I give back? How can I help? So
Right.
I'm grateful for that because there's certain moments in your life, and everyone has them that change you, that you don't go back to that
Uh-huh.
old self.
Uh-huh. That
And
old way of thinking.
we're supposed to change. We're
Right.
not the same person we were yesterday. We're completely different.
Exactly.
It's a really good thing.
Right. Yeah. Man, I totally agree. And it's interesting that you said you had that at 40 because I'll be 40 here in the next like 3 months or so. So I'm curious, when you hit 40, was it kind of like a light switch where you're like, okay, hey, I made it, I'm good, and or did it take some time for you to ease into
That's a great
the
question.
reality?
I myself took some time to ease into it.
Okay.
So it wasn't, hey, boom, okay, now, oh, it's night and day. It wasn't like that for myself. It took me a little while. And,
Okay.
some people are stubborn, and the more it's just the conditioning, it's just the mind,
Hmm.
that inner chatter that keeps telling you, what you've been used to hearing,
Right.
so where the unlearning comes in and the new learning of new conversations,
Yes.
new affirmations, of new beliefs, you know. Um, like I was, you have a lot of self-limiting beliefs, and these are powerful because these run, and I'm
Yeah.
a very big believer of the subconscious mind.
Me too.
I'm a big fan of the subconscious mind, and the subconscious mind is running the show 95%, so we're on automatic, we're on autopilot. And depending on what's in the subconscious mind is what's running the show. It's what's,
Hmm.
driving us. So that could be good or that could be bad, you know. So for
Right.
me, it took a little bit. You know, now at my age, I'm a bookworm. I love books. Like I love reading. So that's helped me out. I've taken courses. You know, I've little by little, I've invested myself. You know, uh, having lots of
Yeah.
therapy. I'm big on therapies. You know, and I'm
Yeah.
ashamed. You know, people see that as a weakness, but it's not. You know, it actually
No.
a lot of courage, and I recommend it 1,000%. You know, and totally um, commend people
Mhm.
to do that. You know, especially
Yeah.
now it's easy. You know, it, and you got to invest in yourself. You know, so it took a little while uh, for me to
To get to there.
get to that point. So for me, you know, like when I turned 40, it was dark because, like I said, I wasn't expecting to live that long. So
Wow.
no, I didn't have a clue at that time what to do with myself, with my life, with my surroundings, and but little by little, that started changing. You know, you start
Right.
meeting. Um, you ever hear that saying that when you're ready to learn, the teacher will appear?
I have heard that. Uh-huh.
And then
Yeah.
a lot of people haven't heard that when you
Hmm.
learn that lesson, the teacher will disappear.
Hmm.
You've learned it. And then another teacher will appear when you're ready to learn the next lesson, and so forth and so on. And, until we learn that lesson, it'll just keep popping up. It'll keep showing up. We'll keep having experiences in one situation or another, and one person or another. So,
Wow. I love that. I love that. Okay. And so so I know one thing that we share in common, and then I know there's two other signs too. Aquarius, and you kind of touched on this earlier. But Aquarius, Scorpio, Leo, and Taurus are all fixed signs. And so I feel like all four of those signs kind of get this reputation for being stubborn. And I know you mentioned that there are several things that people maybe would dislike about a Scorpio. But I'm just curious, like, what are some of those other things that you feel like maybe would turn people off from a Scorpio?
um, mystery. They think
Uh-huh.
Scorpio is serious and secretive.
Okay. Yeah.
Emotional depth is another one that
Oh.
um, that's powerful. Blunt.
Hmm.
You know, people are like, man, you guys are real blunt. Like you don't no f's, are given.
All
Uh,
right.
and and it's just a matter of, I think, part of what step in the evolution you're in. Like now, I'm all about transparency. And the reason why I'm like that and is because I want other people to be transparent with me. The golden
Mm-hmm.
rule,
Right.
put
You want
what
that
you
back.
want to receive. And it's real simple. So, love, generosity, abundance, just share, just put out what you want to receive, and a lot of people, as simple as that may sound, it kind of, goes over the head. And
Uh-huh.
a lot of things, like I said, everything happens for a reason. Some people aren't ready, maybe right now, to hear this message, you know,
Hmm.
and maybe they may be ready later, and be like, you know what, I remember Carlos had this one cat that talked all this stuff. And at the time, like, man, whatever. Now it rings a bell. It's making a dent.
Right.
So that's some of the things, besides the vindictiveness, uh, we're blunt. I think because we just appreciate, transparency. Emotional debt can be intimidating, or misunderstood,
Hmm. Hmm.
but that's a good trait because we want to in turn love in depth
Hmm.
with
Yes.
somebody,
Right.
not connect, but be really in depth with
Right.
somebody in a relationship, whether that's platonic or romantic or business or whatever the case may be. So, you know, people may say, "Oh, these are weaknesses," but in all reality, coming from a Scorpio, these are strengths.
Mhm. I would agree.
So, you know, as far as the secrecy and the mystery, we tend to keep to ourselves. Um, as far as being transparent, we do, but we value keeping to ourselves as well. So
Yeah.
that's part of where people be like, I don't know, they're mysterious, or
Yeah. Yeah.
little, but it's not a bad thing. It's just, once again, it comes down to, I believe, the level of evolution that that person is as a receiver and what lens that they view things. It could be, that could
Mm.
be my lens, where it could be a, a sack of money, but with my lens and my negativity, I could see something, that's not a blessing.
Uh,
you know
right.
it could
Uh-huh.
be a blessing, but my lens sees it as something different or other than a blessing, if that makes sense.
It does. It does. It totally makes sense. And I feel like with the mystery part too about Scorpio, it's one of those things where it's twofold because as much as I hear people say they dislike the mystery, that's the draw I feel for Scorpio because a lot of people I think are naturally attracted to Scorpios because and in any facet, not just relationship, but they're attracted because it's almost like, okay, let me be the person to crack that code. It's almost like a Rubik's cube, kind of like let me find it out.
It's almost like, I want what I can't have.
Yes, yes. Uh-huh.
And if I know everything about that person, it's like, okay, there's nothing. What's left?
Yeah.
There's
Hmm.
no mystery. There's no, I wonder if Eric
Right.
likes this, or I wonder what Eric is. So the mystery part of it's the mystery part of it. It's almost like self-preservation, or
Mm.
um, it's a good thing. And you're right, it does draw people because we're drawn to being curious. I
Right.
wonder what, or how is that person, or whatever the case may be. So mystery is always a good thing. I enjoy a good suspense movie,
Me
like a
too.
mystery movie. You're like,
Yeah.
I wonder what's coming next. So there's that.
It keeps you
It,
interested.
it does. You're like,
Mhm.
oh yeah, that was. But
Right. Right. Yeah. I love that. That's spot on. Yeah, I totally agree. I
thank.
agree. Oh, so one question I have for you is, and I've been asking this for everybody this season. If you had to pick one other zodiac sign that has this ick or this thing that you just feel like, ugh, it just gets on my nerves, what would that sign be? Or what would the sign be, and then what would be that thing that gets on your nerves about the sign?
I think Leo would be
Oh, okay.
that, because Scorpio's a water sign,
Uh-huh.
a fire sign, so it's it's challenging. I'm not gonna say negative, but challenging. Which challenging could be a good thing. Um, Leo is passionate, so
Hmm.
that's a good thing. Some people can't really understand passion or be compatible with a passionate person because they're like, you too much,
Right.
like
Right.
being
Right.
extra.
Can't deal with it. Right.
Like, no, you need too much attention, or whatever the case may be. But I think Leo is
Ah, that would be the one.
I think so.
Wh- You know what? I can see that though, because in my head, and I know Scorpio is a water sign, don't get me wrong, but I feel like of all the water signs, Scorpio is a little bit of an outlier. And the reason why I say that is because even when you think about the emotions, in my opinion, I feel like Pisces and Cancer are way more emotional than a Scorpio. And not to say that a Scorpio is emotionless, but I do feel that maybe if you don't know a Scorpio that well, or if they haven't peeled back some of those layers, they can come across as somebody who maybe uh, doesn't feel certain things, or maybe kind of numb to certain things. And in my head, Scorpio is an honorary fire sign, if that makes sense. Like it's because I always think of Scorpio as, the passion, the mystery, which to me seems more fiery than the water. I don't know. It's just in my head. I've always thought of it that way.
And you're right. Like, I've had relationships where, I'm growing from this, but they're like, why are you so cold? Like, you
Mm.
go 0 to, hey, chunk of deuce, like, quick. And you don't have no remorse. You don't have no emotion, you don't have no feeling. And it's like, you're done. When you're done, you're done, you know?
Mhm.
And I've grown from that. And it's just, yeah, you're right. Emotionless,
Mhm.
for me personally, has been something that I've been working on. But I've had relationships where they're like, I don't understand how you could be so cold, and how you could go from 0 to we're done super quick.
Mhm.
So it's interesting. It's very, very interesting.
Huh. Do you think maybe that could stem from, I know you mentioned this earlier, that protective piece, or that self-preservation? Like, okay, let me cut this off or cut you off so that I save myself in a sense.
Absolutely. So I did that for the majority of my life, because I was like, you know what? You're not going to hurt me. I've hurt enough.
Mm, mhm.
And you know what? I'm done. Like, me personally, I'm done. Like, I became a surgical surgeon as far as that was concerned, putting
Wow.
that wall and just being
Mhm.
stone cold, because I was like, you know what? I've been hurt my entire life. I choose not to continue allowing people to come close that, in
To-
my mind, were going to hurt me, but
Mhm.
wasn't the case. It's just, my deal, where I was like, you know what? You're getting too close. You're actually showing affection. You're actually showing love. You got to go. Bye.
Right.
Is, like I said, if we don't learn that lesson, it'll keep popping up in different people,
Mhm.
different relationships,
Mhm.
different, um, it could be 100 females that love you, that are wife material, that are mother
Mhm.
material, and you're like, nope, bye. You know, um,
Uh-huh.
that's where the learning comes in, the maturity. The, hey, you know what? I need to work on myself. I need to work on this. Because I don't want to have another 100. You know,
Right. Going
cycles.
through the
So,
cycle.
got to do the work, and many people don't want to do that work. That's why they keep asking themselves, why do I keep attracted to this certain type of person? Why does it
Mhm.
happening to me? I don't understand. Well,
Right.
that's because we're not putting in the work. So
That's
once you
right.
put in the work, that'll minimize where you find that true person.
Yeah.
That things change when you do that work, when you address what needs to be addressed.
Right. Right. I love that. I love that. That's so true. So I'm curious to see what your answer is for this next one. So this is redacted. So basically, if there's any scenario, be it amazing or horrible, that you've had with another zodiac sign, what was that situation, and what was the sign, just without mentioning their name?
Capricorn.
Oh,
Capricorn.
that's interesting. Okay.
Yeah, the person that's helped me evolve and grow as an individual, and actually giving me that tough love, has been a Capricorn.
Mm, hmm.
So not everybody does that. For me, this sign is a Capricorn, and this individual was like, "Hey, listen, you got to love yourself. Hey, man, give yourself some love. Hey, you're not doing this right. Hey, you know why that happened? Because of this. And just that tough love.
Uh-huh.
The tough love where you kind of look inside. You know, a lot of
Right.
people look inside for solutions, for the easy fix, and everybody looks for the magic pill. The red pill or the blue pill.
Right.
And it's really
Mhm.
going inside. If no one tells you that, well, you really don't know. But when someone is selfless and says, "Hey, Carlos, you got to look inside, brother. What you
Mm.
see is inside you.
Mhm.
What you're looking for is inside you. You already have it. Just look for it inside." And I was
Right.
like, that's deep.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
on a
it is.
level where
Mhm.
you're like, man, I was not ready to hear that.
Right. Right.
And
Right.
that, most people aren't. Most people are walking on eggshells where, yeah, I love you, but I don't want to tell you because I don't want to hurt your feelings, you know?
Mm.
But if
Mhm.
I really do love you, Carlos, I would say, hey, bro, look inside,
Right.
work on yourself, do the work. I promise you, you're going to feel better. You're going to,
Mhm.
what you seek. I was seeking peace. I had chaos and turmoil my entire life, you know?
Wow.
And this person was like, hey, look inside. You have that inside. Do the work. Love yourself. Invest in yourself. No one ever told me that growing up. No one ever told me that my entire life until this person said, hey, you are what you seek. You want peace? Look inside. You have peace. You
Right.
want to be loved? Love yourself. You
Mhm.
give what you don't have, what you're not showing yourself. And bro, let me tell you, that was deep.
Wow.
That's deep, homeboy, where you're like, man, I love you, but I don't love myself. Do you? Do I really
Yeah.
love you when I don't love
If you
myself?
don't love yourself, right.
Does that make sense? Like on a whole
Mhm.
different level. It's like, huh. And you get the wheels turning. And you're like, huh, wow, that is deep. So Capricorn is a sign
Yeah.
that that took things to a whole different level. And when you're at work and you get a raise, that's the next step, right?
Mhm.
I got a raise. That's the next step.
Right.
You get your own business or have enough money to invest, that's the next level. Does that make sense? So,
Right.
you got steps and then you
And
got levels.
levels.
And there's levels to everything, homeboy.
That's true. That's
There's
true.
levels to everything.
Mm.
So I'm grateful for the opportunity to be able to listen, to be open, to receive that information, that wisdom, where you're like, wow. And ever since, bro, I've been on this path to self
Wow.
improve, to self, grow, to evolve. Uh,
Mhm.
and there's levels to everything. So, but yeah,
Wow.
Capricorn is the one. I'm sorry, I talk a lot.
No, 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 no. This is great. This is great. I love it. I love it because you bring up a good point because I have a couple of close Capricorn friends, and if I could sum them up in a phrase, what you just said is it, the tough love. They say things that, at first it may kind of come across as like, wait, who are you talking to? Like, but but they mean well and they have a good way of saying it. Cause I know for me, um, what used to get me in trouble was I not that I was a people pleaser, but at the same time, it's like I didn't want to hurt anybody's feelings. So a lot of times I wouldn't say how I truly felt about something because it's like, oh, okay, I don't want to hurt their feelings. And a sign like a Capricorn, I feel like would be good in that regard to say, well, no, you should have did this, this, and this because now you've made the situation worse by trying to avoid it, you know?
And you're right. It's that tough love. It's and we'll probably hear something, let's say at church, and you're like, oh, that was cool, you know, and then you keep going, and it went
Hmm.
out the other. It really did
Hmm.
sink in when you're at, I don't know, crossroads that are dark and that are tough. You have time to reflect, and if you really want to make change, you will make change, whether that be minute or monumental. Um, you will do some kind of action, some kind of activity, some kind of, I'm gonna take this next class, or I'm gonna take this online course, or I'm gonna go see this therapist, or I'm gonna read
Hmm.
a book, I'm gonna talk to this person, I'm gonna go out in nature and be, with God, with the universe, with Mother Earth, and reconnect, ground myself. And like I said, these people are in our lives for a specific reason,
Hmm.
and people will come in out of our lives and come into our lives, but it's like your friends, like you said, man, who you talking to, bro? Like, we want to, take this outside,
Right,
or
right, right.
yeah, like,
Yeah, yeah.
real talk. And you're like, hey, bro, I mean, we're cool, but but they mean well. And it's
Hmm.
it's the it's the oh, is this triggering me? Why is this triggering me?
Right, right.
And that's
Hmm.
where, most people be like, hey, man, let's do this, bro. Let's dance.
Yeah.
But really need to step back and not react and say, well, why is this triggering me?
Hmm.
Why is this person on the freeway that's honking, triggering me?
Right,
Why,
right.
like, why is this my girlfriend or whoever that's triggering me? Why is that triggering me? And it's ourselves. We got to look at ourselves, and everybody's a reflection. Everyone's a
Yeah,
mirror.
they
You
are.
are a mirror of me. Which, by the way, you're very handsome and very intelligent.
Hey, hey, it's same. Yes, same for you.
Because you're
The mirror. Yes, that's right. That's right. But you're right. You're right because I do feel like a lot of times we attract people or find ourselves sometimes in company with people who are a reflection of us or even maybe a reflection of our struggles. And then you end up kind of being in those circles with those people. And you mentioned something too earlier. I think that was really important about the therapy and people talking about like, oh well, why are you going and things like that. And I just want to say that's commendable because I started going um, a little over a year ago, and I just felt like, okay, just try it, whatever. It wasn't. There were some things going on that I did need to talk about, but at the same time, there wasn't anything catastrophic for me to be like, oh, let me go sit on somebody's couch. But the great thing about it that I feel, and I'm sure you may echo this too, is during that time when I was in therapy, I had a close friend that was the same age as me, just a few months older, who passed away, and it was sudden.
I'm sorry.
And oh, thank you, thank you.
I'm
And
so
so when that happened, as hard as it was, I felt like I had the tools to deal with it because I had been going to therapy. And I think that's the thing that people don't get. It's kind of like, to me, the way I look at therapy now is almost like an oil change, like it's that preventative or going to the doctor to get your physical or whatever. It's that preventative maintenance sort of
Carl,
deal.
I'll share something with you. I'm the oldest of two.
Hmm.
My younger brother passed away last year in
Oh,
September.
I'm sorry.
Thank you. I buried my parents in my mind when I was really young. The reason
Mm,
for that was because I like, you know what, you guys are the biggest cause of my pain. I have to bury you in order to stop the pain,
mm,
stop the chaos, just stop the abuse, stop the everything, So I had to, in my mind, bury my parents when I was younger, when I was very young. So when my dad passed away in 2019, it was a formality, and I don't. This may sound insensitive, but
no, I get it. Yeah.
parent, it was just a formality because I buried my dad a long, long time ago. So it was a
Hmm.
formality, and everybody's like, "Man, bro, you're so cool. You're so like upbeat. Your dad just passed away." I'm like, well, thanks, but I'd been so last
Right.
year. Point where I'm going with this is last year I never did that with my brother because I didn't have to. That was my brother, my younger brother.
Hmm.
So last year, bro, when he passed away, that hit me like a train. Like I've been going to therapy for years, and I wasn't prepared for that
Wow.
to the point where like I had thoughts of exiting myself,
Hmm.
because I was like, man,
I'm sorry to hear
I
that.
never felt. So my brother last year was the very first person, a loved one that I lost, and I've never dealt with grief or in the healthy way. I
Hmm.
alcohol. When I was,
Right.
but I never did that with my brother. I didn't have to because he was my little brother. Well, I've been going to therapy for a while. My point is that you have to continue these oil changes, like you're saying. It's
Mm.
not like an oil change. You don't get one oil change. Say, oh, okay, cool, my car is done.
Right. I'm good. Right.
I'm done, and
Hmm.
we're off to go. I don't ever have to do an oil change again. You know, Me personally, I've gone to Mexico. I've had different modalities of therapies in Argentina, in Colombia, shamans, psychiatrists,
Right.
psychologists, all I've tried different modalities. Uh,
Hmm.
I'm very open minded because I seek to heal. I seek to grow, and whatever modality, they all help, in one way or another. I'm not saying one is better than the other, but point is you have to continue these oil changes, like you mentioned, you know, that help with one thing. Like you said, that wasn't catastrophic. Let's say you do have something catastrophic, God forbid. Okay, well, let me see. And
Hmm.
I'm all about therapy. I'm all about
Yeah.
that life, and in all reality, Carlos, it's an ongoing
Oh
thing.
yeah. Hmm.
The
It
day
is.
we pass, bro,
Yeah.
we continue. It's not like, hey, I'm gonna go see this therapist and I'm done for the rest of my life. I know it all. I'm healed, and we're good, bro. Talk to you later.
Right.
It
Yeah. Right.
doesn't
That's
that way,
it. Yeah.
it doesn't work that way. If we learn one lesson, okay, here's the next one, and the next one, and the next one, and we just got to continue evolving,
Mm.
continue, because we're imperfect. We're
That's
not
right.
we're not going to get it right one sitting.
No.
We got to keep going and keep going. And a lot of people are like, oh God, bro, that sounds so exhausting, the rest of my life, really? Yeah.
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 Because it's more exhausting not having it and going through the rest of your life.
Absolutely. Now if you have
Yeah.
the consciousness that you say, oh, this is exhausting, well, you have the consciousness. Most people, Carlos, don't. They're walking
Mm.
zombies.
Hmm.
And to them,
That's
it's
true.
like, oh, I guess this is part of life. I guess these are the cards that were dealt, that I was
Right.
dealt. And
Hmm.
I don't have any say so in it. I can't change this. And they'll go 60, 70, drinking like they were 18, partying, going
Hmm.
to clubs and bars. And, this, and
That's
it's like,
right.
really, bro? Like, how old are you? Like, how long are you going to keep doing that? And then they keep asking the same question. Well, I don't know why this keeps happening to me, or I don't, it's just
Mm-hmm.
life, and and the victim mentality. It's an ongoing thing, bro. Like, we have to continue to work on ourselves. You know,
Right.
so
Right.
and it's it's for our own good. It's kind of like the airplane. Put your mask on first, the oxygen
Yes.
first,
To help somebody else.
help somebody else. You got to,
Mm-hmm.
love ourselves first, help ourselves first before we can help somebody else, either a loved one, a parent, a child, a coworker, whoever that may be, if that makes
Right.
sense.
It does. It totally makes sense. Man, Eric, you've been dropping some knowledge here tonight. I love this. I love this conversation. This is
Apologize,
great.
I talk a lot.
No. It's a good thing. This is great. This is great. No, I really love it. And I think that you're saying a lot of things that people need to hear. Yeah. Yeah, they do.
In all reality, like, we all need to hear this,
Hmm.
every one of us. I had to hear it. I needed to hear that. I needed someone say, "Hey, bro, you're tripping. How long you gonna keep tripping?
Right.
That's on you. You want to
Yeah.
keep tripping. It's not gonna affect me, but it's gonna affect you. When you get tired of tripping, you're gonna do something about it.
Hmm.
And if not, you're gonna keep going. But at a hopefully there comes a point, Carl, where it clicks, and you're like, man, it's gotta be
Mm.
better.
Different way. Uh-huh.
Like- And like you said earlier, we attract like attracts like.
Hmm.
That could be negative, you know, and
Yep.
that was me. I was like, why am I attracting a certain type of woman? Why do I keep attracting,
Yeah.
this type of person?
Hmm.
Why? Well, like attracts like. So guess what? I was in the same boat. I just wasn't seeing myself through that person, you
Right.
know?
Hmm.
And you're like, once you realize, hey, I want a loving person, I want someone that's going to respect me, whatever you're looking for, you have to become. Then, like attracts like,
Hmm.
you
Hmm.
know? And that's deep.
Yeah.
Write down. There's a great exercise. Write down what you look for in a partner.
Uh-huh.
Oh, I want her to be, 5'3", whatever,
Right,
whatever.
right.
All these, qualities and descriptions and attributes, and it could be a page. It could be 16 pages of what you're looking for. Okay, cool. This is what I want. This is what I'm looking for. I got it right here. 16 pages worth.
Right.
Well, guess what? Now, what you have to do is you have to these 16 pages worth.
Mm, mhm,
Does that make
mhm.
sense?
Yes,
And
yes.
like attracts like. Once you become this loving person with all these attributes, and you have to become someone that someone with all these attributes is going to be like, oh, what's your name? Hello.
Right, 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 right,
you
right.
know like,
Yeah.
hello. And
Mhm.
like attracts like. Until that happens, we're going to keep you know
Yep.
attracting at whatever level we're at.
Man, that's deep. I love that.
It is deep.
Man.
I learned that not too long ago, and it's like, huh. And that's why you see these couples, and you're like, man, like, there's no way, or
Mhm.
I don't see how. Well, it's real simple. They attract each other because they have the same attributes, the same qualities, whether they're positive or negative.
Right,
But
right.
when someone's negative and someone's negative, guess what? I'm not gonna judge you because I'm like that. And I'm not gonna, pressure you into be better in yourself because I'm not bettering
Yeah.
myself. And it
Mhm. I'm
comes
not ready to grow.
exactly. And then it becomes a comfort zone where, hey, I'm okay, you're okay, we're okay, And then we can complain and we can bitch and moan, that,
Mhm. Yep.
but
Yep.
you're not
And
making,
never change.
it's not like, hey, well, let me level up. That way we she can level up, or he can level up, or we can level up. You
Right.
know,
Right.
it, they're not thinking from that perspective. So, anyways,
Huh. Wow. I love that. I love that. Wow, man, this is great. This is great. This time has flown by. You might have to have you back on another episode, man, because you have a lot of knowledge. This is great. Seriously.
love to. Thank you so much. And
Yeah.
it's life lessons. You know, I've
Yes.
a little bit more life lessons. So I'm grateful for these lessons. You know, it's
Right.
win-win. I
That's right.
wouldn't be the person that I am now if I didn't have all these life lessons. You know, so
Mhm.
I'm extremely grateful, and I hope to have more not so hard lessons. You know,
Right.
so,
Yeah. Right.
uh,
Right. We
definitely
don't want
grateful.
all the hard lessons. Right.
Uh, I, I'm tapped out.
Right.
I
I
really
get
am.
it.
And I want to share, if I can help somebody, I will. And
Yeah.
that's the goal, in life. And that's what I'm working on now. Um, I want to get a podcast going soon. I want
Hey,
to do things, so,
congratulations.
and share, you
Yeah.
know, my story, and hopefully it helps some people.
Yeah. Well, keep me posted on that seriously because I will definitely support.
Thank
Because
you. You're definitely
yeah.
gonna be. So get ready.
Hey, okay. All right. Let me know. Let me know. I'm there. Hey, that's what's up. Okay. Well, let's see. We've gotten to the last segment of the show. So I do this with every guest, every season, no matter what season. I try to tailor it to each guest so the questions aren't the same for everybody. But it's called Dead in the Water. And so these are things that either I've observed or either kind of maybe want to get your perception on, but it's a this or that. And instead of telling me the one you like the best, you'll tell me the one that you throw back in the water.
Okay.
So it's like different topics, different things. So the first one I have is between these two shows, Ted Lasso or The Morning Show.
The morning
Which
show.
you get rid of that one?
Oh yeah, in a heartbeat.
Wow. You said now have you ever watched The Morning Show?
I have. It's good, but Ted Lasso is
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Yeah. I saw that you had posted something about it, and Ted Lasso is I love The Morning Show too, don't get me wrong, but Ted Lasso I feel like is probably one of the best shows I've seen of all time.
And for me, it resonates personally.
Yeah, same. Me too.
On so many different levels. My
Mhm.
phone's about to die, so I'm gonna charge it up real quick.
Oh, okay.
But
Be quick.
oh man, it's Ted Lasso there's so much wisdom, in that
Yes.
show.
It is.
I mean, he there's a lot of golden like wisdom nuggets where
Yeah.
and you're like, oh, did
Yeah.
that happen? Like,
Uh-huh.
oh, that's golden. I love that. And so for me, Ted Lasso is amazing. Like, I believe.
Yeah, right. Yes, me too. Yes, I love Ted Lasso. I
Love.
keep waiting for them to come back for a new season. I'm like, come on,
Yep.
it's been forever. But okay, yeah, if I had to pick, I'm with you. I'd throw that one away too.
Yeah.
Throw away the morning show. Okay. So between these two things, we're creeping up, of course, on a new year. So everybody likes to do these New Year's resolutions and things like that. Between resolutions and revelations, which one would you throw away?
I would throw away resolutions.
Okay, and keep the revelations. Okay.
Everyone and their mom has, New Year's resolutions. By the end of the first week, those go out the window.
Yep.
If you have a revelation that makes a bigger dent, that's aha moments. Those are the wisdom, the revelation. It's like, oh, okay, I see where this is going. Or okay, me personally, revelations have more of an impact, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I agree. Definitely makes sense. Okay. So between these two actors, Robert Downey Jr. or Matthew McConaughey, who are you getting rid of?
Man, that's a good one. I would give Robert Downey Jr. I would throw him back in the water. I'm a big fan of his, but apple to apple, Matthew goes hard.
Yeah.
I just, he had a speech which I'll be brief on. He got an award one time, and he was talking about his future self. Is next level. A lot of people don't know about our future selves, and how much of an impact that has. Our future selves already know what's going to happen,
Right.
because they're our future self,
Yeah.
So I'm a real big fan of what he said. And I was like, oh man, a lot of people don't know that. That's deep. That's on a whole different level. And he's just a great actor. He, have you read his book, Green Lights?
I saw that you posted about it, and it's a book I've been meaning to read for a while, but I haven't yet.
Yeah.
Is it good?
It gives the highlights on that post that I put. And it's kind of like my deep, like stuff that I like to read. Like, life hacks,
Right.
Stuff that's impactful, that is important, that will help you, so anyways, Robert has to go.
All right. Sorry, Robert.
Yeah.
In the water you go.
Sorry, man.
Right. All right. So between these foods, spaghetti or lasagna, which one are you getting rid of?
Bro, these are hard. I think I would have to get away with spaghetti. Apples to apples, lasagna, man, it's just layers of goodness,
True.
It's just layer after layer if it's good, spaghetti, you got good noodles and then a good sauce, maybe some meatballs, and got some magic right there. But you got it all, and it's just it's more party. I don't know. Maybe I'm just hungry right now.
No, I can see that though. I think out of the two, I probably would pick. Well, I would keep lasagna too. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to keep lasagna.
Keep that one. Okay. All right. Okay. So this is the last one here. So between a happy hour or a Sunday brunch, which one would you throw away?
I would throw away happy hour.
Okay. And you keep the brunch.
I would keep the brunch. I'm a foodie and I'm all about food.
Yeah.
I would travel for food. If you say, Eric, you got to hit up this barbecue joint, bro, that is a hole in the wall, and you got to pass 4 cows and 2 windmills, and then you have, I'll be like, all right, bet. I'm
going.
Like, I've gone to Austin several times to eat.
They have good food.
Like, they got food.
Yeah.
I here, I love soul food. Like, I'm a big foodie. So they say, hey, I got a list. So when I was driving Uber, I would pick up people that had never come here, before, like from Australia or from other sides of the world. And they're like, hey, we're in Texas. What do we? I'm like, I got a list for you. You want Mexican? You want Italian? You want barbecue? You want we got it all. So I printed out a list and I would hand it out. So
wow. Okay. So you're a foodie for real.
I'm a foodie for real. So I love to eat good food.
Nice.
Yeah. So Sunday brunch, I think I'm gonna have to keep.
Okay. Hey, we're keeping the Sunday brunch. Nothing wrong with that. Hey, this has been awesome, Eric. Thank you so much for joining me and for taking time out of your busy schedule to be a guest on the show. And like you said, nothing is by chance. And what's interesting is how you mentioned when we had the segment about Capricorn. Um, so I hadn't shared this or said it publicly yet, but the next episode, which will be the finale, is Capricorn.
Oh,
So
nice.
yeah, it's nice how that fell in line like that.
I think by chance, my man. Nothing.
Yes, that's right. That's right.
Thank you so much for having me.
Oh yeah, you're welcome, Eric. Thank you.
And honored, and I'm super grateful. Namaste.
Hey, namaste. Yes.
So much. I look forward to seeing you again soon.
Oh yes, yes, for sure. Yes, definitely have to catch up.
Yes, sir.
All right, Eric. Have a good one.
Have a good night.
All right,
Thank
you
you.
too.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.